Howdy, Possum Patty and Angela Rose here. Well, I just returned from the shelf with my October journal. You might remember, if you're a longtime Awesome Possum peep, when I made this with a wooden piece from the Dollar Tree. There's a lot of fun journaling in here. It's not all Halloween, no. Some fun fall activities in here. Why did I get the October journal out, Possum Patty? You're probably asking, right? Well, if you watched the last video, and if you didn't, I'll link it below. Angela Rose and I were doing some awesome painting with these little fairy brushes that she made out of natural plant material. And we were using these awesome Halloween colors, metallic and sparkle, that I got at the Dollar Tree. Well, she did hers in her journal, and I made a couple of little cards over here. And well, you know, these colors really got me into the October mode. Ooh, this is nice and sparkly now. Yeah, the glitter paint really takes on a sparkle after it's dry. You can see the glitter better. All right, anyway. So I was in the mood to take out this journal, and I'm thinking, oh, you might remember the other day when I did the texture paste and embossing powder video. Yes, and I was watching somebody on YouTube, and she had a little texture paste left on her palette knife, you know. And instead of scraping it back into the jar, she took it and put it around the edge of her tag and called it damage. And I don't know, that's just been stuck in my mind. Damage. I'm in the October journaling mode. It's just, the fall is in the air. Yes, and damage, Halloween journaling. I bet you I can come up with a few ideas at least. Ooh, maybe you have some ideas and you can put them in the comments below. Yes, something about making background papers or pockets or ephemera, anything for an October journal that somehow incorporates damage. Damage. Oh, I love that. Well, I was watching another video, and this woman was making awesome pieces for her mixed media collages. Nothing to do with Halloween. But I was thinking that would fit in perfectly with the damage theme, right? Damage. Yes, I'm gonna do some experimenting. I'm gonna try to sort of, in my own way and with my own ideas, take a little bit of what she was doing and change it around into sort of like a Halloween mode. And yeah, see what we come up with. Some fun paper backgrounds or pockets or ephemera, whatever they turn into, right? I don't even know if they're gonna come out, but if you want to see how this experiment turns out, you better come on along. I have 5 experiments here. The first one is going to be just a plain piece of scrapbook paper. I thought this was perfect for October Halloween with the purple roses and the black crows. So that's going to be one experiment. The next experiment is going to be this piece of cardstock. I got this at the flea market. It's like a linen texture on one side. I believe it's solid core, yes. And this is cicada wing paper that I got from Temu. It's like tissue paper. I don't know if it's stronger or not as strong as tissue, but I just love the way it's been dyed. It's like coffee dyed already for me. And I'm going to layer this cicada wing paper on top of this cardstock and see what that's going to look like. And then I got all these ideas for layering. I'm going to take some scrapbook paper and layer a paper bag, just a plain piece of paper bag over it. As you can see, I'm trying to use up some of my scraps here. And then I thought I would get some of this creepy cloth that I got at the Dollar Tree, I don't know, last year or the year before. And I was like, an extra layer on top of this one might be interesting, right? And one more, I said, well, let me grab some more of that cicada wing and a patterned piece of scrapbook paper. It's not as heavy as that black paper, so we'll just see how these come out. So those are my ideas that I'm going to start with. So the first thing I have to do is put stitches on all of these. Now the stitches are going to look something like this because I have to make them vertical and horizontal so it winds up with these little grids like that. This is the first step. And I am going to use my sewing machine to do this. Now I've seen folks who don't have sewing machines take a piece of paper and just glue, I guess just some white glue, like little strings like this, thin like baker's twine and like this, and glue them securely to the paper and then do the same thing. But I love the way it looks with the machine stitching. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to try and make it, perfect like that. I want to go off a little bit, make it a little bit more organic, the way this creepy cloth looks. All those squares are not the same size. Here's my 5 pieces. You can see on the back all the stitching I put on there. I wanted a little bit of a smaller grid. We'll see how this is going to come out. This one came out small too, and this is 2 layers, scrapbook paper and paper bags. Now for this one, because it already had a regular grid on it, look what I did. I just went at an angle. We'll see what that one's going to look like. Now you have to be a little careful sewing your creepy cloth. You want to make sure the cloth is facing up. You don't want to do it that way, no, because then all this will get jammed into, all the moving parts underneath. And if it starts tugging, just take some scissors and give it a little clip there. Try to get a little wavy going there. The holes are a little bit bigger than on some of these others. And well, for the sake of sewing sanity, I cut this one in half, yes. Well, we'll see how this comes out because I might want to change the process later. So I'll save that piece for later. And this has some really small sections and some larger sections. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how these are going to turn out. Okay, now the next part is a bit of a messy play, and I believe I will take these outside with a tub of water and something to lay them down on, maybe parchment paper or something. And yeah, the next part's going to be a lot of fun. All righty, here we are outside at the picnic table. And the first thing I did was set up a little area in the sun to dry the papers because we're going to soak them in water. And it's a little bit breezy, so I have the children of the sitting people over there holding the paper down. Very simple. All you need is a bowl of water and your stitched papers, and we'll have a play. Now the idea is to soak each piece of paper and kind of crumple it up and maybe scrub it a little bit and then open it up again and poke some of that paper out. And when you got it as grungy and as holy as you would like, then I'm going to lay it out on the paper to dry. Oh my, which one should we try first? All right, let's go with the scrapbook paper and the cicada wing tissue paper. I'm really anxious to see what that's going to look like. So I'm just going to put it in the water and pick it up, and I'm going to scrunch it a little bit. You can rub it, you can scrub it, you can play with it until it starts breaking. You want it to sort of break in between those threads there, like that. Sometimes if you rub it, you'll get those holes in there. It will help don't get water on the lens. Excuse me if I do some splashing here. See, I was hoping that when this dries, that the tissue paper would curl up more than the regular paper, and you'll be able to see that there's 2 layers on here. Now don't worry about the whole thing falling apart, because all those stitches are going to sort of keep it in place. I'm going to try to fray those edges a little bit. Now maybe you just want a few holes. Maybe you want it to look really raggedy. I don't know, that looks pretty good to me. That looks pretty good to me. I'm testing this tissue paper, this cicada wing paper. Yeah, you really got to pull on it to get that apart. Okay, so there she is. And I'm going to lay it out in the sun to dry. As I put it down, I might see a couple spaces I want to pull apart. I might even put a rock towards the edge of that so that it kind of dries that way. You can play with it after you put it down. You know what, and if it's not torn enough, you can come back and spray it and see how it looks after that. Okay, the breeze is coming up. Now I'm going to take this scrapbook paper, just 1 layer. And now this is not scrapbook paper. I'm sorry, this is, this is a little heavier, almost like a little bit of a cardstock, a light cardstock. And I'm getting it wet, and I'm sort of working it, where those holes are. Now, I might want to save maybe the crow and the flower, so I can rip holes around that. So let's see, I just mushed up that crow's head. That crow doesn't have a head. There. Let's see, we'll go around that crow's head and see what happens. Maybe around his flower. Do the corner down here. Now you could take that whole thing out, take that little piece out. It'll probably curl up once it's dry anyway. See, you can get some really big holes in there. Well, let's lay it down, see how it's going to look. I'm hoping that it, curls up quite a bit when it's dry. So it'll look more damaged. Let's try the creepy cloth. Let's try the creepy cloth. This is 1 layer of, again, it's not paper, it feels like cardstock. And 1 layer of creepy cloth. I gotta get this wet, it's not coming apart yet. I'm gonna crunkle it up. Rip some around the edge. I'll pull it apart. So there's a face there. Maybe I'll go around the face. Though I already ripped it a little bit. That's going to look very mysterious. We hope. It's an experiment. We'll see. I like that I chose a lighter paper with this dark creepy cloth. Although it might look just as good on black. Or maybe paper bag. I love that brown crafty color with black. Yeah, scrub it. Oh, it's really nice and wet now. It's just falling apart. It's just falling apart. Okay. Okay, now this is cardstock with grocery bag. Grocery bag might take some wetting, yes, because they're usually pretty strong. Yeah, see, that's going to take a while. We can let that soak, and we can try this one at the same time. And this is the black cardstock and the cicada wing. Let's just put everything in the laundry here. Put everything in. Give it a good soak. This side has some sparkly gold on it. But what I wanted was this side. And I can't break that. Look at that. The paper bag is going to be tough. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try crumple. Let's scrub this one. Can we scrub it? Will that come off? Wow. Tough stuff. Well, I can do the reverse. See, I wanted the bag on the front, but that's being so tough, and the scrapbook paper is just falling apart. So we might get a little bit different of a look here. I scrape off some of the scrapbook paper and leave the paper bag behind. I did like the design on the other side, though. Just saying. That paper bag still does not want to rip. Man, you really got to work at it. Well, that might look really cool with the gold and the paper bag. Yeah, let's see how that one looks when it's dry. Here come the helicopters, right on schedule. Oh, this one's going to be awesome. Look at this. It's such a mushy mess. Yes. Oh, I can't wait to see these when they're dry. Just want to rough up the edge there. Well, the breeze should help them dry quickly. Well, the papers are pretty much dry now, so we're going to take a close look at them, see how they came out, and yes, I'm going to definitely put these in my journal. All right, well, let's look at these one at a time. Oh, and I'm looking at this parchment paper. Yes, this is something I could probably damage and use in the journal too. All right. So here was my fave with the purple roses and the crows. And, well, not as much damage as I thought there would be. But I like it. This one I didn't want to take away too much of the pattern. I really wanted to see some of that. I just wanted it damaged. Oh, you can see on the back pretty much how it came out. Now, if I wanted more damage, I could just pick off some of these pieces like this, put some more holes in there if I wanted to. Just kind of pull them off. Because they're broken, they're just not, they're just hanging, they're hanging on by a thread. See, look at that. That one's just hanging on. So I could pull some of these off if I want. Or I might just like it like that. Pretty much damaged, tattered, and torn. All right, let's look at another one. Well, here's the one that I just couldn't get it to do what I thought I could get it to do. Yes, it was supposed to be paper bag over the flowers, and then in the back of this is some flowers. I was going to scrape away the paper bag, but the paper bag turned out to be a lot stronger than the scrapbook paper, which kind of disintegrated. So now I have the scrapbook paper damaged on top of the paper bag. That's kind of interesting. Oh, see now, that was interesting. I see if I bend that back a little bit. See, you can see little bits of the flower there. The flowers that are on the other side. See those little bits of red there coming through? some of it like that and have that red hanging out like that. I haven't trimmed any of these strings, but some of them are sewn right across, so we're just gonna have them hanging out the edges like that. If I need to trim them down, I'll do it later. Okay, so that's that one. This little bit's coming off. Yeah, the edges didn't get very much damaged at all. That paper bag was just too strong. Well, now you know, if you experiment with this and you want something really strong on the back, use paper bag, and then you could kind of rub the paper away on the front and see that paper bag. But I do like that it has a gold sparkle. That's number 2. Number 3 was just a little piece of scrap paper. And this had the cicada wing paper on there, which turned out to be pretty strong also. Yes, it took me quite a bit to break up some of this paper. You know, kind of like this scrapbook paper came off and you could see the paper bag. I was hoping that the cicada wing paper would come off and you could see the scrapbook paper, but no, that didn't happen. But I love it. It's just properly damaged, isn't it? Yes. Perfect for Halloween journal. Oh, and the creepy cloth. I had to poke out a bunch of holes in this one. I can still see a little bit of that face. Oh, this way. That's his forehead. There's his eyes. His eyes are peeking out right there. I love that. Oh, look at that. I tried to damage the edges on this one. But I love how this came out. I should make some more of this. Oh, do I have some purple? I don't remember. I have some other creepy cloth around somewhere. Got to get out my Halloween stash and use it up. And this one, well, butter my bum and call me a biscuit. Yeah, I mean, I like totally destroyed this. I soaked this and mashed it all up and crunkled it, and it was so wet, and I just thought the whole thing was going to disintegrate, and it like glued itself all back together. It glued itself all back together. So I wanted to get some of these black off so I could see the cicada wing underneath. And again, the cicada wing paper turned out pretty tough. So let's see if I could pick a little bit. No, that one, is that ripped? No. Well, it didn't glue itself to the cicada wing because look, it comes off a little bit. So I just thought there would be like a whole lot more damage to this one because it was all mushed. It was all just like pulp, like wet pulp. And in the sun, it just glued itself back together. There must be some really strong binding solution, binding something in this paper. Yeah, I guess I can sit here and pick at it. You know, oh, that's good. Oh, I like that. I might want to do that in other places. This definitely needs more holes. I can't believe it glued itself back together again like that. Pull some off the edge there. Can't be perfect anywhere, no. Well, it could have a little spot here and there that looks good. Because if you have a spot that looks good, that just makes the damaged part, look more damaged. If it was all damaged, then it would just look all damaged. But if you have something that looks good, a little bit here, a little bit there, that makes the damage look more damaged. Does that make sense? That is possum logic. That is possum logic. Okay. All right, here's an empty page, and I'm looking at this. So yes, this is definitely going down here, so I'm going to pause here for a moment And, oh, I know. I'm going to rip one of these. How do you glue something that's full of holes? Okay, I'm going to run glue in spaces that look pretty undamaged and leave the damaged parts poking up. Something like that, okay. And I'm just going to put it right in the middle of the page. This is my fave. I love this. Now, doesn't that just create a page you want to journal on? I might journal something on this page. I was trying to decide whether I just want to leave it like this because I love it, Cabinet of Curiosities, or do I want to add something more to this? I could add something like that. I was thinking I might journal on this page about my Cabinet of Curiosities, but this does add some fun texture to the page, doesn't it? Yes. Now, yes, I might glue it to this black paper and turn it into like a little side pocket to do my journaling about my Cabinet of Curiosities. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. All right, I need to cut this down. I don't need to have it showing at all. Or should we leave it like that? I kind of like the black because of the black creepy cloth though. Oh, I can even sew this on here, couldn't I? Oh, I'll be right back. Now that was easier than trying to glue this down. I just stitched around the edge. I was gonna put it this way. See those eyeballs right there? You could even have it hanging out a little bit like that, see? So you can see a little bit of that damage from this side. See, now this would be a little tuck right there. Oh, here's some blank pages. Oh, I have some of that parchment paper in here. Okay, let's see. Ooh, got this long one. Oh, and it's got gold sparklies right next to gold sparklies. Ooh, there's a little donut down here though. Oh, you know what that little donut might get covered up. That little donut might have to go like that. I could put it back on after, right? I could put it on top of this, but I want this to hang out the bottom and hang out the top. And you can see all these threads from this side. And that'll also make this page a little wider. It's kind of hard to journal on. That's very narrow. All right, and this is going to be hard, so let's use some Fabri-Tac. That not gorgeous or what? Love it. I'm having so much fun today. Okay. I could put it like on here. Kind of strengthen this page a little bit. I'm just gonna put some glue, go around the holes. Oh, these papers would be perfect for any kind of grunge grungy journal. Look at that. I've got to find a place for one more. I'm looking at this card. I'm looking at this envelope here. This is a card I made yesterday. Look at that. And that's not there. To make something to go in this pocket with this. All right, now I need something small. Maybe I can sew this to a scrap and make another pocket. Let's see how that would look. I had a lot of fun with this. Yes, this was going to be my least favorite, but now I'm loving it. Yes. I mean, it was my least favorite because just this plaid paper with the cicada wing paper on it. I was like, what am I going to do with this one, right? So I went through my hashtag, give a scrap bag that's under the table. And I found this fox paper. And I was like, oh, orange plaid, orange foxes. And when I put that on top, I was like, oh, and you can see their little faces peeking through. And there's this little tail and little eye, little nose, a little ear. I said, oh, I love that. And then there was this beautiful green, just like the forest. I could put that behind them because this was just a white page, right? And I made it into a pocket by sewing it on there. You can always glue. But look how super fun this is. I love it with those little foxes. Fox is a great fall motif. Okay. And I've got this green and black painty paper I made yesterday. And just for now, I'm just going to put it in there. Yeah. I don't know that it'll stay on this page, but at least it'll be in the journal and I can use it if I want to. So let's see. Do I have them all in there? I believe I do. Number 1, look how gorgeous that is. Number 2, loving this. This is really creepy, right? With the little eyeballs there. 3, my adorable little foxes. 4, this big black one. I don't know what I'm going to do on that, but, you know, I'm loving this combination here. I put my orange card in that one. I could even glue that down on there. Ooh. And I could put a little distressing around the windows. I could do a lot on this page. And number 5. On my apple cider donut flap there. That's going to give me a little bit more room to journal than just this thin thing there. But I'm loving it with all the gold and all the gold. Well, that is it. Yes. That is it. Yep, that's it. That's it for today. A successful experiment. Yay! I love this idea. Yes. A lot of work with the sewing, but it went pretty quickly. Not too bad. But, you know, oh, you can't beat the results. I know, right? I'm going to have to try this one again. Maybe with a little bit different theme, though. Yes. This was tattered and torn for Halloween, but I may be able to adapt this to something else later on. It was lots of fun. Love the results. Well, thanks for coming along today. And if you try this out, let me know in the comments below. Or if you have any ideas on damage theme for Halloween journal, you can put that down below too. Much appreciated. Happy junk journaling. Bye-bye.